Hello guys, it's been a while. I'm not really uploading to the Double Chin Doge channel right now just because, well, this channel was never very serious obviously. The only serious thing that I put on here was my music, and well, now I've got that music channel, Technocosm, because I didn't really want it to be known as Double Chin Doge if I was going into that. So if you're wondering where my uploads are, basically they're at, yeah, they're at Technocosm. So I just want you to know that, like, in terms of Double Chin Doge to this channel, I'm just gonna upload when I feel like it, which basically means I'm never gonna upload, and when I am gonna upload, maybe I'll upload like 4 videos in one day, and then I'll just forget about it for a year. But anyway, you might remember that for a long time now I've been wanting to make a card game of my own. It started off years ago when, after I got pretty confident with Scratch, I wondered if I could make a card game in Scratch. And I tried to make one called Card Battles of Card and Cardiness because I had no idea how to name anything. And that was a complete flop. Then I tried again with another one that called Pixel v Pixel. And that one actually got a decent distance. Like, it wasn't great, but like at the same time, like, I might have been able to pull it off. But I didn't create any lore for the game, which I didn't want to create lore to begin with, but I found it extremely hard to, like, create cards, that, like, fit what I had. I really didn't like what was going on there, so I was like, that was one thing that nagged me. Another thing that nagged me was just the way that I built the game. I've forgotten what I did, but I remember some ways that I built the game made it run slower than it should have done. Even on Scratch, I know it's going to run slowly anyway. And then I tried to make Legendary, and I felt very confident about Legendary. I felt like it was actually very conceptually sound. But when it came to making it on Scratch, I got pretty far actually. I did get to the point where it was starting to become like a playable game, and there were loads of cards and all that. It was starting to get playable, but there was just some bugs with shuffling the deck and all that, and having it actually give you the right cards. And as I tried to fix that, I had more and more and more code until eventually it got to the point that now, whenever I tried to open the project, it just crashes instantly. So yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, now though, after a year doing computer science at A level, I now know C Sharp. And then from C Sharp I found out, wait, this works with Unity, and then I got Unity, and I'm doing this for my project right now. Now, if we start off, I just want to show you what we've got so far. It's not a playable state yet, but I'm just very happy I've got this far so far, because you got to understand that, like, I have literally not touched Unity. I know what I'm doing with C Sharp, but I have not touched Unity. I have no idea what I'm doing with Unity. But I feel like I've done a pretty good job so far, as you can see. We've got a working start button and a collection button. We're not at the point yet where, like, you have to collect cards at the moment. You just get them all to start with. And we're not at the point where you can build a deck yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make pre-made decks first that you just automatically get assigned when you play the game. And then later I'm going to have it that you can make your own decks. And then after that, if we get to that point, you collect cards in packs and all that, and you don't start with all of them. So yeah, as you can see, we've got this nice little display over here, which shows us the name of the card, the attack, the cost, the health, the types, all pretty conventional for a card game. And then there's these 4 boxes. These aren't too crazy or unusual, but let me just quickly explain what they are for the many people who did not watch my card ideas videos. This right here is the Act, which is basically like the battle cry from Hearthstone or something like that. That's an ability that triggers when played. Then the second one down is the Active, which is just any ability that's constantly in effect. Then there's the Configure, and this is the one that's a bit more unique. The Configure ability is an ability that can be triggered at any time on your turn, as long as the unit is, alive on the board. For example, swapping their attack or health. So there's some units that you can just choose whenever you want to swap their attack and health, as long as it's your turn. And then finally at the bottom, we have Remnant ability, which is their on death ability. So yeah, as you can see, this will respond to us mousing over all of these cards. Now, I just want to point out as well, I have checked for this, but I have seen these cards so many times now that I can literally just look at something that's very clearly wrong and not notice it at all. I'm not even kidding. I had one error that I had for ages just because I forgot to give a card a cost, and I read over the text files 10 times and I never saw that one of the cards just didn't have a cost. So yeah, no matter how many times I read this, I definitely still miss details. So if while I'm mousing over these, you ever see that the text up here doesn't match what it says on the card, then can you just point it out for me? Because I've done a check already, but I don't trust my checks to actually catch everything at the moment. But yeah, you can use the up and down arrows, and they will do what you'd expect. Weirdly enough, I couldn't get these cards to move, so what's actually happening is I'm moving the camera and not the cards, and all these other buttons are like moving with the camera, because they're on this canvas thing, and this canvas thing doesn't move when the camera does. It just kind of it follows the camera basically. Anyway, so yeah. And I think I've got these to a good length and text size so that even the longer names like Tsunami just barely fit in their boxes, and the longer abilities and all that. I think the longest ability text in the game is Humongous Bloat Bear down there, and yeah, that fits. It didn't quite fit, so I just shortened the text a little bit, and then it fit. Anyway, so yeah, oh yeah, and I didn't even point out, yeah, we got buttons here to swap between the different factions. Over here as well, you might notice that there's little things on these cards, but not on these first 7. Basically, these cards are the basic cards, which you get for free at the very start. So you don't have to get them in packs or anything. Again, this is theoretically if we get to this point. These with the white boxes are the commons, and to be fair, it's not as easy to see as I hoped it would be, but oh well. And there's 6 commons in each faction. Then there's the blue cards, which are the rares, although it's a very light blue, so it does look a bit like the white. That might be a bit of a problem. So these are all, these 5 are rares. Then there's these 4, which are the, those are the uncommons, these are the commons, these are the rares. Blech. I'm used to other card games, because I couldn't really think of another like weird one, like Hearthstone has epics, Plants vs Zombies has super rares. I couldn't think of anything like that. I just had it be, instead of having starting from common, I start from uncommon, and then go common, and then go. Because to be fair, they call them uncommons, like, the ones that are like least rare that you still have to get. You don't just get for free, but like, I mean, they are common. You get 4 in every pack, basically every time. Anyway, and then finally, of course, the legendaries, which there are 2 of each in each faction. So yeah, I think even the longer abilities should all fit here. And yeah, so the only thing that's a little buggy right now with this first bit is this back button, which is kind of a last minute addition, just because I didn't even realise I didn't have a back button for a while, because I was used to just stopping the project and starting it again. But obviously, as an actual player, you can't just restart the game to get out of this menu. So yeah, you click it, and it does take you back, and it does make everything disappear. Everything looks good. When you go back into collection, the cards will disappear. Now, this isn't actually a big problem, because if you click one of the buttons, they reappear. Really, this is just a small kind of inconvenience. So this is something that for now I'm just going to push aside, because I have more important things to attend to, but that is something that I'll have to try and remember to deal with. I know I'm having that error too. It's just that I think the way that to fix it would take a while, even though it's not like hard, it would just take a bit. Anyway, when you click on play, we switch from this first scene, which I accidentally named and now I think if I change the name it will be broken, so I don't want to do that, to gameplay. Now, contrary to the name, there's no gameplay here. No, we just started on this, to be fair. Like, I've been working on this for basically the whole last half of this holiday, because the first half I've been dragged every single place I could think of. So I hadn't had much time to do this. I had so many errors, like, with just the first part, you'd be surprised. This is actually all just been done today, like this whole gameplay section. But yeah, what we got here is we just got a board space occupied by a card. So this is what it would look like. This isn't my hand, just to clarify. My hand would go here, and this right here is the board space. And there's going to be 5 board spaces on each person's side of the board. There's only one right now because I need. But instead of just making 10 board spaces and then putting the code in for each of them, I want to put in all the code for one board space, and once I'm sure all the code is there, just copy paste it 10 times instead of, creating more work for myself. And also, just for the sake of showing off, if I click on this, usually in the actual game, what I would want this to do is, when you click on it, it would then mean if you then click on another card, this card would attack that card. If you click on itself after you've already clicked on it once, if it has a configure ability, it'll trigger it. So that's what clicking on it would usually do. But just for the sake of testing at the moment, clicking on it instead replaces it with a random card from the entire game. Now this is a little bit buggy because obviously not every card in the game is actually a unit, and spells can't be put on the board, so I put some quick code just to keep trying until you get a unit, but I think something's wrong with it. But it doesn't matter because this is obviously not going to be part of the full game. This is just for the purpose of showing off. But yeah, if I click this, we get Carnivorous Carcassor. That's a different card, and you can see it switched its graphic to the monster's background because this is a monster's card. You click it again, oh look, it's gone green because it's an Aliens card. It's gone orange again because it's a Guns red, yeah. Sometimes you click it and nothing happens. Sometimes you click it and we get either an array index out of range, or it says what? Yeah, okay. An array index out of range, or it says that the input string is not in the correct format. So that's something I'm gonna have to look into. I just realised I haven't seen any Roblox cards from the randomizer until now. That's weird, because I've tested it quite a bit, and I was thinking, I feel like something's missing here. There's one thing that I do need to check, and that is cards with self-defense are supposed to have blue instead of green on their attack square, and these squares are coded to change colour to match their abilities, but I'm not getting any armoured abilities, which would be the health one changing, poison abilities, or self-defense abilities, and those two would be this one changing, which is kind of annoying because I need to see those to check if they work. I could just manually put in some code to say oh, we'll check that card, but I can't be bothered. If I go for a little bit longer, if I don't see one, I'll just not bother, but for now at least. But yeah, maybe some of you will kind of be interested in some of these card ideas. Just saying, I made some videos talking about all the card ideas I have for this game, so you can get an idea of what decks they're supposed to be used in and all that. You can give those videos some views. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get one. This is just typical. I keep getting the same ones too. It's completely random, but I keep getting the same ones. Weird. I wonder if that's something to do with Unity's rand.range function being a bit weird. Okay, well anyway, thank you for watching. That's about it.